music.
Batty's not a bat, he's a man who fights crime. And we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time. With John and Niall and a guest who doesn't rhyme. It's Bat Minute!
Attention, citizens of fair Gotham, and welcome to Bat Minute and Robin, the show that delivers the whoop whoop 3 days a week. I am one of your hosts, John Parker.
And here I am, once again, skidding into this minute. It's me, Niall McGowan. Things are hitting the skids over here.
Oh yeah. And we are joined, once again, by the world's biggest Batman and Robin fans. We have Rick and Julia, the back. Whoop.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi there.
The biggest fans we could find,
Right.
at the very least.
On short notice, at the very last minute.
We are here to talk about minute 65. Is it 65?
Yes. It's 65.
I realised, I've got about 7 different files open of notes here. Minute 65. The minute starts with the race wars continuing their march unabated. And it ends with the Sand People preparing to attack the racers.
Making notes for this minute made me really admire you guys for getting through 3 Mad Max movies, because when it's just racing going on, when it's just speeding vehicles, I'm like, I don't know what to do. It's like every time we had it in the first movie, the Batmobile chase, with the Joker goons and stuff, and I was like, that was the first time I'd come across what do we talk about here? Because it's just scenes of cars flying around and stuff.
This minute in particular is giving me fond flashbacks to our first season of the Mad Max Minute, because there's one point where Steve Bisley hops on his motorcycle and he just starts riding. And the whole scene is building tension because we know that his motorcycle has been sabotaged and we are just waiting for something terrible to happen to the goose. And it is a solid minute and a half. 15 seconds at the tail end of one episode, 15 seconds at the beginning of another episode, and the entirety of that middle episode is nothing but him on the highway, speeding around corners.
Not even new scenery.
Yep.
This sounds like a David Lynch thing. This is basically what he did at the end of the Twin Peaks The Return. It was 15 minutes of just driving silently.
Yeah. The nice thing about that scene is that we were able to talk about the behind the scenes aspect of it. Because back in 1979, if you wanted a POV shot on a motorcycle speeding down the highway, well, you had your motorcycle operator, and then strapped, literally belted to the operator, is the cameraman holding the 40-pound camera.
What?
Pointing it over the operator's shoulder, speeding down the highway at, a couple hundred miles an hour.
That's crazy. These days, you just slap a GoPro on, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're good.
Exactly.
Just imagine, though, that been a day at work, though. It's well, there's a good chance we're going to die today, but at least we'll get this shot, huh?
I was about to say, that kind of describes every day on the set of Mad Max.
Oh, God, yeah.
Getting paid in a case of beer.
That's the Australian way.
Yep.
So, yes, the race is carrying on, and the onlookers are whooping. Which annoys me. I'm not a whooper. I might whoop at a band, maybe, but that's about it. And the band has to be ICP, of course. You got to whoop ICP. But I'm not a fan of the whoop. I don't get it. I am a polite clap, maybe. Very English.
Yeah, I'm just now, particularly nowadays, I'm just not very rowdy at all. At concerts and stuff, I'm just the guy in the back, just all right. Yeah, okay. That's good.
You give them an approving nod when it's good.
I'm like that guy, the manager in Purple Rain, who's just kind of nods his head in approval at the end of the song.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah. I gotta say, I'm also not one of those people who whoops at concerts. Honestly, whenever I hear a whoop, it kind of reminds me of that KRS-One song, "Sound of the Police."
Yeah,
because we know whoop whoop is the sound of the police.
Whoop whoop. Yeah,
it's the sound of the beast.
Oh man, you think of it, there's just constant anxiety though. All these people doing this race now, as soon as they hear a whoop, they're like, "Is that them? Jesus Christ!"
The pigs are onto us.
Yeah. I think they do in Gotham because, like, if not the pigs, then Batman could have landed on your ass. So. We know the
Yeah,
way
I'm
they
surprised-
did Batman Forever when like that gang, like the neon gang, is about to beat up Dick Grayson. As soon as Batman showed his face, they're like, "It's Batman!" Just ran a mile. So.
I am surprised Batman doesn't turn up to this, even though they're technically not doing anything wrong. It seems like something Batman would be morally opposed to.
Yeah, I don't know if he's just slipping or if he's like, I can't be policing the whole city.
Oh, for once, he's not going to pick on the little guy.
Well, he's busy with Elle McPherson.
That is
Like we
true.
just had that scene.
I mean, if you have Elle McPherson in one hand and rowdy bikers in the other hand, you're always going to choose Elle McPherson.
It depends what kind of a mood you're in,
Yeah. Although the last time we saw the two of them, Elle McPherson was like, who's Ivy? Because you just called me Ivy. And he's like,
Ooh.
oh, I have no idea who Ivy is, but I wish I knew. And it's like, what are you doing? Yeah, Bruce?
Yeah, maybe he should find a reason to leave.
Yeah. Elle McPherson's going to be like, where's my coat?
Yeah.
You've got a million coat closets. Which one has mine?
If you slip up and say that, I mean, not only are you an awful person, but okay, you've made a mistake. At least come up with something. Don't just be like,
Oh, the way Bruce was acting in that scene, though, I can imagine him being like, I'll be in my bunk. And he'll just walk away. He's like, Alfred, deliver a box of tissues to my room. And it's like, that's why he's not out. Like, he's...
I'll be back in 10 minutes.
You can stick around here, can't you, Al? Just let me get this out of my system. We can resume dinner.
And you know that all of his stuff is bat themed. So it's got the little pump bottle with the bat symbol on it, the box of tissues with the bat symbol on it.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
The pillow that he cries into afterwards, that sort of thing.
I think he's got a one of those like body pillows, but it's Catwoman because he misses her so much. It's like an anime Catwoman.
Yeah. He just smells a random latex coat from a shop. He's like, that reminds me of her. Yeah.
Well, he's never got over her, has he?
Mm.
Nobody's ever. I was going to say filled that void. I'm not trying to sound dirty. I apologize, listeners. I'm trying to keep it PG.
We've got the Oswald Cobblepot quotes here now.
Yeah. I'm trying not to think like the Penguin.
Yeah.
The circumstances of their parting were certainly shocking.
Yeah.
I'll say.
Yeah. There's
Oh,
no way
God.
you can walking away from that one a normal person.
I have a question about like the race in general, right? And Dick. What is Dick trying to do? Like, it seems like he's here, and his thing is, I'm going to save Barbara, a woman who clearly does not need his help whatsoever in any way.
That is actually it's a legitimately good question, because otherwise it is going to be like, I'm going to win this is clearly a race she's trying to win. I'm going to win it. Just to show her up.
Then she'll like me.
Yeah. Which I guess it is very juvenile teenage boy behavior. To be like, yeah, if I beat her, then she'll like me or whatever. But
She'll see how cool I am.
that might well be what he's going for. Or either it is just, I just want to stick around to make sure she doesn't get killed. Which, to be fair, mission accomplished at the end of the week. But
Yeah. But at the same time, would she have been in that position if Dick wasn't in the race? Maybe not.
I don't know. I think Spike, he really, really has it in for her. It almost
But
feels
she's pretty tough, though. Like, does she need Dick's help?
Yeah, it just depends, though, I guess, with, like, did he distract her from, like, the flames that come up next minute and stuff? Because, yeah, there was some way that Dick got in her way where she didn't notice that coming or something. Then, yeah, fair enough. But I think those circumstances would have wiped out anybody. Like, I don't think that was particularly his fault. Although I got a million questions about what the hell is happening in the next minute.
Oh,
but
yeah.
We'll get to that when we get to it.
Minute 66 just has so many questions to it.
Yes. Oh, dear
That's
God.
the movie in general.
Yeah.
But one question I can answer about this minute is that this guy playing Spike, who is he? What's his deal? And he's actually quite a notable actor. Do you guys, did any of you guys look into who Spike was?
So I have a feeling that you're already going to launch into this, but Nicky Katt
Yes.
was a child actor on TV in the 80s. And one of the first roles that he had was on an episode of CHiPs, which is all about the California Highway Patrol police motorcycle cops.
Yeah. We did get that here. I don't know if we did at the time, but when I was a kid, it was on TV still because I don't know. It was like 6 in the morning until like 9 in the morning. They would just show old American things. Like, here's Chips. Here's the A-Team.
Yeah, the Incredible Hulk, basically.
Yeah.
You watch it for Eric Estrada, and then pretty sure what is the other guy? Larry Wilcox. He was there too.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I just always wanted Tim Curry and Tim Rice to team up to do a musical version of Chips. So then it'd be the marquee would be Curry Rice Chips, because that's like a staple meal over here.
Yeah.
Is there still time? I don't know. Is Tim Rice still alive?
I actually don't know.
Yeah.
I'd feel awful now if he's not.
He emails. He was the one person to email after the last episode. Yes, I'm still alive.
Hey, if you want to email us and you are alive, I mean, even if you're dead, feel free to email us.
Yeah.
That would also
That'd be even better
fantastic.
if you send an email from the afterlife.
And another thing that's prevalent in this entire race and really gets highlighted here is one of the racers. Oh, hang on. Have you finished talking about?
Oh no,
Othello?
there's Nicky Cat's a whole. He's a
Yeah. I just realised we didn't go down that rabbit hole. We'll cut that bit out. You go with your.
I don't know,
Nicky
Rick.
Cat.
Do you have any more notes about Nicky Cat though? I want to know if you've done the research. I don't want to.
I was gonna say nothing else beside him being a child actor on Chips stood out to me at all. So if you found other information about him, go for it.
Well, some good stuff.
Yeah, but beyond Chips, and speaking about friggin' Corey Feldman and Corey Haim last minute, he's also in Gremlins as a child actor. He's one of the classmates of Corey Feldman's character. I remember bringing that up on the Mogwai Minute when I was on, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's very interesting." Then over the end credits, Neil Brown been like, "Nicky Cat was in this movie," and he just repeating the same information.
Yeah, but no, we know this very well. After about a week, you've forgotten everything you said. I don't remember anything from last week.
Yeah, but you've seen this guy as an adult in other things though. He's in the movie Dazed and Confused. He's the guy who tries to beat up Adam Goldberg at the party at the end. He's like smoking weed. And Richard Linklater, if you watch his movies, he seems to think that weed makes people violent for some reason. And it makes them really hyperactive. And it's like, yeah, so Nicky Cat's just like, yeah, that's right, I'm not smoking some reefer. What are you going to do about it? He ends up fighting Adam Goldberg.
Like it's Speed or something.
Yeah. Also, in terms of kind of bully-ish roles, episode of Friends where Ross and Chandler keep getting bullied by guys at the Central Perk, and a guy steals Chandler's hat. That's Nicky Cat. He was one of those guys. He's in loads and loads of stuff. He's in Sin City, City of Rock, Insomnia, obviously a Chris Nolan movie, A Time to Kill, Joel Schumacher movie, The Burbs. He's most famously known nowadays for Boston Public, which of course made by David E. Kelley, the husband of Michelle Pfeiffer. And for our purposes, he's kind of a big deal because he is the only actor to cross from the 90s Batman into the Nolan trilogy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he is in The Dark Knight. He's the guy during the big truck chase where they're trying to take out, the Joker's trying to take out Harvey Dent's like police security van. That van's been driven by a guy who turns out to be Jim Gordon in disguise, but there's a guy next to him going like, "Is that a bazooka? Oh, that's not good. That's not good," and stuff like that. That is Nicky Cat. So
I like to think in my
Nice.
head canon it's the same character.
yeah, just went straight. And then he's like, I remember another time back in like 10 years ago, there was a different Batman, but no one ever talks about him anymore. And there's a different Jim Gordon too. He did not do anywhere near as much as you seem to be doing. But yeah, I don't know, like, if I were him, I'll be dining out in that for the rest of my life. But like, I'm in both friggin' Bat franchises, man. I should try to angle myself in that Snyderverse just once. And now I gotta go pressure Matt Reeves now as well. I gotta be the through line. He could be like where Pat Hingle and Michael Goff were like, oh, we're in every one of these movies. He could be like, I'm in every iteration of Batman since the 90s or something. But, tragically, I don't think he's going to pull it off. But
Oh, alas.
Yeah.
I want him to.
But yeah, and he's also in a movie from the early 90s called The Babysitter, which stars one Alicia Silverstone. So there you go. He had beef with her on set of that. That's why he's so goddamn aggressive in this movie. hate her so much. Well, that's a good question. Like, what are you guys? You guys are children of the 90s, like me and John. What are your feelings about Alicia Silverstone in general?
Oh, I'm a diehard fan of Clue.
Hey.
Clueless. I'm sorry, Clueless.
Yeah. I
The Tim Curry classic.
I am
yes.
also a diehard fan of Clue. That is also true.
But both incredible in their own way.
Yes. Clueless. Absolutely. Was that my introduction to her? It might have been. There was also the music video for, music video.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
You guys all know what I'm talking about, right?
The Australian one.
Yeah, but the Aerosmith song.
Aerosmith,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Aerosmith.
I thought you were talking about Iggy Azalea doing.
Oh yeah, she did
yeah,
Clueless,
she did
the
a copy.
Clueless stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
no. With Liv Tyler. Yes. That might have been my introduction to her, and I wouldn't have known who she was. And then I saw Clueless. I'm like, oh, it's her from the music video. It might have happened in that order. I don't recall.
Yeah, I wonder what mine. I think I saw her in this and then saw Clueless. I think I'm the other way around.
I think I probably would have seen like I would have seen her on like the VHS cover of Clueless before this, and might have been like, that is the woman who's always on that thing, that video cover that's on everywhere in the video shops and stuff. But although I might have actually seen the TV version of Clueless before this came out, so although that's not Alicia Silverstone in that, but
No.
Yeah, I definitely saw the TV version of Clueless. I don't think I've actually ever sat down and watched the movie version.
Really?
It-
It's so good.
you gotta
Yes,
get that on your
genuinely.
Plex, Rick. You gotta get it on there now.
Give him 5 minutes.
I say, yeah.
It might already be there.
I mean, you sincerely get on Clueless. It's a fantastic movie. So,
Yeah, as much as I
It's
say I
really
like
good.
this, like Clueless is like a genuinely good film.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah, Clueless came out in 95, so it was marketed to me.
Yeah,
I was 14. I probably saw it in the theater.
I wasn't allowed to watch Clueless in 1995 because I didn't hit the magical PG-13 age number,
Nope.
and I would not have been allowed
Oh.
to watch
You were
Such
in
a-
single digits.
such a terribly rated movie as PG-13. As a
I mean, it does get
8-year-old.
pretty gory at the end when she just decides to kill all her friends with like a.
Yeah, who would have thought she was a vampire all along?
It actually was a sequel to Clue the whole time, but it was only at the very end you find like, oh no, Cher Horowitz did it, and now she kills everybody else in the cast.
Yeah.
Tim Curry reappears. As, oh no!
It's one of the greatest twists in cinema history. It's like Fight Club level of twist.
Yeah.
It's Sixth Sense level of twist.
It's like Drew Barrymore getting killed off at the start of Scream. Although I
Yeah.
actually found out recently, apparently that role was originally considered to go to Alicia Silverstone, because at the time
could
it was like,
see it.
get the biggest actress you can get. And like they had to reconsider after a while. Like, well, no, we can't quite get that level. But,
Oh god.
uh,
Yeah, there's a thing here, which it happens a lot in this minute, but it's throughout the entire race. Right, one of the racers, he gets nudged off his bike, and the damn thing explodes. Like instantly, just explode. Things just blow up. There's sparks for no reason. A bomb strapped to these things. Is that part of the race? If you go down, you're going to blow up.
Well, see, a lot of people think that the gas tank on a motorcycle is just the thing that looks like a gas tank in front of the seat.
Oh, yeah,
Between the seat and the handlebars. But actually, the gas lines run all through the frame into the tires. The reason the seat is so plush is because it's full of petrol gasoline.
Of course.
And all of these sparks. I'm surprised that these motorcycles aren't blowing up earlier in the race, because all motorcycles, regardless of make or country of origin, are 97% gas tank, 3% engine.
It's
and
how they
that's it.
run. It's important
Yeah.
to the whole process. Yeah.
They're so fuel efficient because they hold so much gasoline.
It's the only explanation that makes any sense. So I'm going with it.
Yeah.
I do I appreciate it as like Simpsons logic, where like Hans Moleman getting run off the road. And his car lightly taps a tree and blows up. It's the same idea. Like, oh yeah, as soon as like a friggin' feather touches that thing, just whoa, and just flies out of control.
What I want to know about this motorcycle exploding is, how is it that they started the race in a warehouse in Gotham City and now we're suddenly in what I can only assume is the LA River aqueducts?
It's down into Greece territory, basically.
Yeah.
Or Point Break. You're just expecting to see friggin' guys in Ronald Reagan masks booting past them any second now.
I could
Exactly.
imagine that in this movie. Yeah. Why not? Anyway, they've done callbacks to other films. Got
Yeah.
some Point Break in here.
Oh yeah, we had the dead presidents hooting and hollering next to the rest of the crowd.
Yeah.
I'm actually really devastated that Joel Schumacher didn't throw in the Lost Boys there. Like, guys in, like, bleach blonde, spiked hair, a bit of a mullet in the back. Just get Corey Haim back. Get friggin' Alex Winter and the rest of the crew back in. Just like, they got the Lost Boys.
Aesthetically, it would work with the scene.
Oh, you wouldn't question it. Like, if you knew who they were, you'd be like, oh my god, it's them. And then if you didn't, you're like, that just looks appropriate for this hodgepodge of who the hell these guys are. So.
I mean, at least get Tim Capello back there to play the saxophone shirtless.
Oh, God. That should be in every movie.
Absolutely. Like, okay, Tim Capello, the saxophonist from Lost Boys, also the concert saxophonist for Tina Turner, who played Auntie Entity in Beyond Thunderdome. Everything's connected.
Everything is connected.
Got to do it at least once.
And you know what? I want him in Fury Road. Like, let's make a special edition. I want him next to who's the guitar playing guy?
The Doof Warrior.
Put him next to him playing some mean sax along with the heavy metal guitar.
I would have loved actually during Bruce and Julie Madison's dinner. Because you get a few little flirts as a saxophone in the music there. Like, while he's talking to her, you just hear them and just turns to the fireplace. And then Bruce is like, not now, Tim. And Tim Capello's just standing there. It's like, you can go home now, man. I got a situation here,
He'd be wearing a tuxedo, but without the white shirt. So it's just jacket, pants, cummerbund. But other than that, it's just oiled up Tim Capello.
Oh, yeah.
I was genuinely tempted to tweet him. To see, like, I know you're not in this movie, but could you please come on to talk about Joel Schumacher? But I think I did send the tweet. It was just one of those, like, nah, just never heard back from him, so just forgot that I even did it. But
hey, it's worth asking. You never know.
Yeah, true.
And you just have to try emailing him now. Maybe he doesn't read his tweets. Maybe he gets 1 million tweets a minute.
Well, actually, weirdly enough, too, I did tweet Coolio, and he said no, and I did get a cheesecake in the mail a couple of days later. So very nice, very considerate of him. I think.
Oh my
invitation?
Say, any luck contacting the estate of Joel Schumacher to see if he has any representatives left behind to speak on his behalf?
I'm kind of tempted to, because they might do it.
He's annoying because he didn't have any kind of Twitter presence or anything. It would be really, you'd have to chase up agents and stuff. But that's what one I really wanted for 89 was Bob. Like Tracy Walter. It's like, oh my God, if he's online anywhere, I got to track that guy down. But no, he's got nothing. He's just like, he's an old man, stays away from the internet. So.
Yeah. Never married, never had kids. So there's got to be a lawyer's office somewhere that represents... the assets that were sold off after he passed.
We could get in like one of Joel Schumacher's lawyers.
We have Joel Schumacher's chief attorney joining us on the show.
Like every time he mentions something, it's like, what do you think? He's like, I think Mr. Schumacher would not appreciate me answering that question at this time.
Coming soon, next week's guest. They almost here get hit by a truck driver.
Oh, I feel so bad for that garbage truck.
I felt kind of bad, but then it dawned on me, right? This is the truck chasing Kyle and Sarah in the Terminator. So these bikers, really, they've helped them out. They're the reason they evade the Terminator and they get to the plant at the end.
Okay.
Spike secret redemption arc going on throughout the side quest of Batman and Robin.
That's what it is. It's crossover, synergy.
See, weirdly, I thought it was a reference to something else because at the front of the truck they have, it appears like it's a bin lid or something, some flat circular metal thing.
Yeah, I think that's to show it's the garbage men.
Oh, okay. Because that just reminded me of the Turtle van where they had the sewer lid in the front. And I was like, is it like a low-key reference to the Turtles? Because the Turtles were a big deal at this point.
No. These racers need to feel lucky that the garbage truck didn't have the giant forks that pick up the dumpsters down.
Oh,
because those they're not sharp, but if you're going at a certain speed, you'll get impaled on those things, and then they don't even have to like pull you off themselves. They just lift the arm back up, tilt it back, and you'll slide off into the trash.
Actually, very like the way Shredder was taken out in the Turtles movie as well, in the back of the garbage truck. So.
Good point.
Yeah, weirdly appropriate. We'll say there is one, for sure, cultural reference within this minute. At about 15 seconds on the left side of the screen, you notice a picture of Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
Oh, yeah.
Is there emblazoned on the sidewalk. And, of course, that's a second Hanna-Barbera reference we've had in this movie. Of course, we had the Flintstones entrance at the beginning down the back of what I was going to say Brontosaurus, and then my mind went, it's a Brachiosaurus, and I just went instead of actually saying any words there.
Am I right in thinking Brontosaurus is a kind of old-fashioned term that you don't use? It's not really a dinosaur. No, I think so.
So.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
I think now it's just that's not a politically correct term anymore. You can't say Brontosaurus.
Are you sure it's not an Apatosaurus?
Oh, see, you've got to get it right. You need to know the difference. They're important differences. And there is even one called an Ultrasaurus, which is just ridiculous. It's like, come on, that's a crap name.
It's better than the Indominus Rex. So.
No, that's cool. My computer, because this is like the one I'm on now, this is my big gaming PC, I spent loads of money on it. So I named it Indominus. That's its name on the network. Because it's the big monster.
But yeah, so having a random picture there of Norval Shaggy Rogers, as his full name.
Wait, is that his name?
Apparently that is his full name, is Norval Shaggy Rogers.
What?
Yeah, and I think it will be a deliberate reference because, of course, that character was voiced by the late, great Casey Kasem, a very famous American radio DJ. And he also did the voice of Robin in the 1960s through 70s Batman animated show. It was like the Batman Superman hour. And that was actually originally owned by Filmation, and then they took over everything and made Super Friends. Well, they didn't. Filmation were out. Hanna-Barbera came in. They took over the cartoon, turned it into Super Friends, and they brought Casey Kasem with them. So he obviously got good relations with the people over there. So can't help but feel it's a little nod there to be like, well, it's a scene with Robin, so I guess and also because like you got kind of little the people on screen are kind of deviants and whatnot. Shaggy and Scooby Doo are kind of synonymous with drug culture. So
yeah.
I got a
They're
feeling
stoners.
Just slightly.
And the feeling like this underpass is probably it could be indicating it's a place where people go to hang out and get high, basically. So it wouldn't be surprised if there was a little bit of that in there. But
maybe. Although I would argue though, different approaches. These kind of guys, you expect them they've taken like amphetamines or something. Shaggy's not about that. Shaggy just wants to chill out on his sofa, smoking and eating.
Yeah. Although maybe it could be like, this is like a kind of mild area over there, like in another corner. That's the heroin room,
You've all got a corner.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not the only Scooby-Doo Batman crossover by any stretch of the imagination, because I think we were shocked earlier in the season when Batman had never officially crossed over with the Flintstones, because it just seems like, well, why not? Why wouldn't they? But Batman and Scooby-Doo have crossed paths several times. Actually, just this year, they announced the Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries comic book line, where they're just teamed up all the time, I guess. There's, of course, a Batman, the Brave and the Bold cartoon movie where they both meet, have an extended adventure together. In that movie, it's the current Scooby-Doo cast, because apparently at the minute, Scooby-Doo has had 13 iterations in terms of it being a TV series. Like, there's been 13 versions of Scooby-Doo throughout the years. There's been 45 movies.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. And the current cast it's still Frank Welker doing Fred and Scooby-Doo. The great Matthew Lillard doing Shaggy, because he did him in that movie, like both those movies to great acclaim.
Oh, so he's like back properly doing it, like regularly.
Yeah, I think that was when they brought out that Scoob movie last year, and they got what's his name, Will Forte, to do it, and I was like, why not get Matthew Lillard back? Surely he'd want to. Looked into it. Matthew Lillard's been doing them for like 20 years in cartoons now.
Whoa!
Wait, am I crazy? I thought Matthew Lillard died.
No,
Did he not? No.
He's
Okay,
fine.
cool. I'm happy. That makes me happy.
Yeah. Oh, and then Kate McCucci is doing Velma these days, and there was the Batman Brave and the Bold also did an episode of the show called Bat-Mite Presents Batman Strangest Cases, where they took, like, it was any episode featuring Bat-Mite, is weird, basically.
And everyone knows we love Batmite.
Yes, yeah. It's voiced by Paul Rubens in the show. And of course, Oswald, Cobblepot's dad, and the great Pee Wee Herman. And yeah, they actually, like, the first half of the episode is like a Batman manga, where it's just like Batman versus like Captain Death or something, or Lord Deathman. That's right.
Lord Deathman.
Yeah.
It sounds like a He-Man villain.
And there's like completely different voices with a completely different animation style. And then the second half of the episode is an old school Scooby Doo cartoon where it's like the 70s Batman cartoon. Like, it's not Diedrich Bader anymore. It's like some older guy doing the voices and a guy kind of doing. Well, I was to say give props too, because like I've tried many impressions in my life, and Shaggy is one I can never do. Like, it's just too, like, I don't know how it's just, it doesn't, I think you just need to be able to get it straight off, or otherwise you're never going to get there.
I've never thought about it, but I don't think I can do it.
It takes a lot to portray such a powerful character.
Yeah.
That meme has really taken off in the last several years, that Shaggy is a being of unimaginable power.
That's it. I've never.
He must be, right?
Is there an origin to that meme? I never under. It's just the basic idea is that he's like the most powerful being in the universe.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was a screenshot from one of the Matthew Lillard Scooby Doo movies where he's like 3/4 turned back to look at the camera, and people just captioned it to be like, "How dare you challenge me?" or something to that effect.
And it makes sense. He's the most dangerous person in the world.
That's why they have to.
But he's chill. He doesn't want to use that power.
That's why he's always, hungry, eating food. Like, his desire to eat distracts him from taking over the world.
Yeah, that's why he needs the food. It's not a want even, it's a need.
Scooby-Doo is actually holding him back on purpose. As
the day the Scooby dies, it's going to be, that will be the end of the world. There'll be nothing stopping him.
Fred and Daphne and Velma are not going to be able to hold Scooby back.
Oh,
only Scooby can do that.
It's like like in Buffy when Willow goes crazy.
Yeah,
exactly.
After 6 seasons, Xander finally does something. You're like, oh, so that's why you exist in this show, to stop her.
So it's going to be the new movie, isn't it? It's the death of Scoob.
They've done everything else. Like, there are 13 shots of doing TV shows about him. Why not do the death of Scoob?
And it's really somber and serious.
Yeah. We'll say too, I looked in, because obviously I have to scan all these things for Everything's Connected, and did find some with apparently the inspiration for Shaggy as a character was it was from the very, very old sitcom called The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis. I don't know if you
familiar.
I've never heard of it. I don't know, you guys living in America, maybe. I don't know if it was
that sounds British to me.
Yeah, it does. It also sounds vaguely familiar.
Apparently it was Bob Denver got a start on it. That's where before Gilligan's Island, he was the co-lead of The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis, and he played a character called Maynard G. Krebs, who was essentially Shaggy. He was like a beatnik cliche. And he doesn't sound like him. To be fair to Casey Kasem, he completely originated that voice. But he does look near enough exactly like Shaggy, like to a ridiculous degree of like, how can you get away with this? But I guess Hanna-Barbera did do that with like the Flintstones. It's just the honeymooners kind of thing. So, but within that show, though, it also starred Tuesday Weld, who would go on to appear as Robert Duvall's wife in Falling Down, which of course directed by Joel Schumacher. And it also co-starred, for the first season, Warren Beatty, who, as longtime listeners will know, Warren Beatty was part of last year's giant, ever-sprawling Howard Hughes Everything's Connected that took like 20 minutes to do all the connections and stuff. So, yeah, not going to go back down that rabbit hole, but Warren Beatty is synonymous with this iteration of Batman.
Yeah.
And I was also quite happy, I don't know if you ever... it finally clarified a joke to me, John. A reference I never got in The Simpsons when... Remember that episode where Homer imagines he's bombing beatniks?
Yes.
And he does the Doctor Strangelove thing where he falls out of the plane.
He's riding the bomb, he's got his hat.
Yeah. And it cuts back to Homer with the cowboy hat going, "Take that, Maynard G. Krebs." And I just thought these are just nonsense words I just don't understand. Now I understand, because he was imagining bombing beatniks that was directed at that character who was a beatnik in that show. So.
See, yeah, I didn't know either. I knew it was obviously a reference. You get the vibe sometimes. You're like, oh, this is a thing. I don't get it, but it's a thing.
Yeah. This is when you're a kid. You just like, oh, it's a grown-up thing. And then just now that I'm a grown-up, I never thought to be like, what does he mean by that? But now I know.
Now that you can literally Google it in 2 seconds on your phone. Yeah.
But this was a real eye-opener when I seen the name, Maynard, just reading Maynard T. Oh my God, that's what it is. But anyway, so those are all the various connections of Shaggy to Batman. So
I love it.
He's there for a reason.
Crossover coming soon.
Although I'm kind of slightly because this is very wacky races, and that's also a Hanna-Barbera thing. Why not throw in like a Penelope pit stop in the background or something? Like Shaggy had nothing to do with wacky races, so make something a little more. Get like an anthill mob, friggin' that car disappears and tries to run them off the road or something.
There's all kinds of things I'd do. I'd put the Benny Hill music on this.
I'll tell you, would be better than the music that's actually playing.
Yeah. Although something that isn't good is we get some casual sexism from one of the racers to Barb, saying "not bad for a chick."
Yeah.
I wouldn't, anger her. She's clearly a better racer. Try and knock her down or something, sure, but don't anger her.
I think it's all Spike. I think he's the real Chatty Cathy in this whole scenario. He's every 2 seconds he has to say something. I don't know if that's a studio note where they're like, nobody's talking for this minute. People will stop paying attention.
Like, yeah, nobody's talking. They're racing motorcycles. They can't hear each other.
Like the fact that we can hear him is surprising enough.
Yeah.
Like when Julia and I were out on the motorcycle and we had our helmets on, and I wanted to communicate something to Julia, so I would have to like turn my head as far as it would go and shout at the top of my lungs, and then maybe she would hear me.
But usually go, what?
Yeah.
Or wait till a stop sign.
I can't even hear, like every day I travel to and from work on the train, and on the way back, I come back with someone I work with. So if we go through a tunnel on the train, I can't hear him anymore, especially with masks on your face at the moment. So I'm just like, wait till we're out the tunnel. So Jesus Christ, on a motorbike? That's something that annoys me in movies, especially when people get out of a helicopter and start having a conversation. I've been next to a helicopter. You can't hear a goddamn thing. You are not having a conversation next to those blades.
But it looks so dynamic, though, John, when characters
it does
are doing
look great, yeah. It ain't happening, I'm telling you.
The information is so urgent. It's like, all right, go inside. Okay, what'd you say back out there? I didn't hear a goddamn word of that.
Especially as we age, both my ears are a bit crap and my brain can't focus on things. So I'll just be like, oh, what? You were speaking?
I'd say I blame it and been raised on movies like Batman and Robin, because this whole minute's just a flash of colors and sparks and crazy crap just been thrown at you. Like, I don't even know what's going on. I cannot. The thing is, a great thing about Fury Road is like it's one big chase, but you know what's happening all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
It's sound balanced in such a way that it's not being drowned out by its own action.
Yeah.
I actually don't know how it gets it so perfect. Like that, in theory, if you wrote the plot down, you'd be like, "This is boring," but it's never ever boring.
That's because every action scene has a point. Like, take this scene, for instance. What is this scene trying to communicate to the viewer in the context of the whole story? We're trying to show that despite what Barbara looks like in her schoolgirl, Alfred's niece persona, that she does have some edge to her, that she does have a desire for danger. Is that well communicated over the course of a 3-minute chase scene through a confusing hellscape of neon dystopia? Some would argue yes, some would argue no.
A bit of both.
It does have very much studio note of action beat.
Yeah.
Like it's been 20 minutes. You gotta have something in there. Okay, bike race, I guess.
If this scene were more directed to showing off what Barbara is capable of, then maybe instead of focusing so hard in on Spike, which I didn't mention this last episode, but I hate it when street toughs are named Spike because it's such a lazy name.
Yeah. I really wish
anyway.
they'd done like, because again, you're doing a Batman property. Have him be like the mutant from Dark Knight Returns who had the spiked nipples, and then call him Spike. Then I could forgive it. But this is just like, yeah, he's got spikes in his jacket, so I guess it's a tough guy name. But come on,
Sounds tough. Sounds big and hard.
But like, maybe instead of Spike going up the ramp and vaulting through the eyeball window, maybe have Barbara do that because she is all about finding the thrill. Maybe instead of Spike doing all of this, kicking people to get them off the race, maybe Barbara not kicking people off their bikes because that's poor sportsmanship, but maybe she is being clever, knocking over a barrel as she passes it, and then a bunch of bouncy balls come out and cause someone to spin out. We were talking about Mario Kart the other week.
That would be perfect. That would all be amazing.
It would show how she loves to do extreme things, how she thinks outside the box, her intense physicality. I think it would have been amazing if Barbara gets knocked off course somehow and there's a beam hanging across the way and she does a stunt where she stands up on the bike and then hops over the bar and lands on the bike again. Show us how Barbara is capable of handling herself, so that way when she becomes Batgirl later in the movie, we believe it more.
Yeah.
That'd be absolutely perfect. I'm 100% sold on that. She needs to be, at the very least, there needs to be a stunt here. She needs to do something. She's just racing 100%. Let's say vanilla. Like, she's goody two shoes. It's not really teaching us anything about her.
Right. Spike is the one who's like doing things.
Yeah.
And being tough. Like, I'd believe him as a Batman protege.
Spike for Batgirl. That's what I want. Let's do it.
And comparing this to the intro of Dick Grayson in the previous movie, we got to see his physical capabilities before he became Robin. We got to see him doing acrobatics with his family. It was not a surprise.
We never get to see Alicia Silverstone doing kung fu with a mop in this movie at all. It's quite frankly, it's a tragedy. I gotta say,
this is the moment to make her edgy. Yeah, and it's almost like they had that idea, like, oh, she's a biker, but don't go too far. She can't do anything bad.
She's still a girl biker.
Yeah. She still has to be, sexy to Dick and stuff.
With all the Mario Kart talk, though, I do kind of wish there was a bit where she took out 3 banana skins and just attached them to the back. Just got in Spike's way, bump into him. Oh, there he goes.
I mean,
that would fit in the aesthetic of the scene. Yeah, where anything goes.
It really would. Yeah. And it kind of ties in, you were saying, oh, they just keep talking during this race. That's also a bit Mario Kart, though. They're always making noises, aren't they? Like, woohoo! put that in.
Oh, you won't support a woohoo, John, but you'll support a woohoo.
Yeah, if it's Mario, it's fine. If it's in a bad Italian accent, it's okay.
One of those Bob Hoskins was showed up at this race.
My gosh, I would love to see Bob Hoskins in this race.
Yeah.
Just in a really post-apocalyptic looking police car, stops on the side of the road. He hops out, shakes his fist. John Leguizamo's there too.
Yes.
Not doing anything. He's just there.
Yeah.
There's only one other thing that really is happening. I just have to bring it up because it leads into the next minute is as they head over the bridge, somebody is preparing a Molotov cocktail. The sand people are going to attack.
One of the things about leading up to this bridge that really bothers me is they go through an archway, smash through a barricade, and then Spike turns right. How do we know that that's actually the direction the race is supposed to be going?
Yeah.
Have we lost the plot on the race course and we're just following Spike because he's in the lead? What the hell is going on?
You just follow the leader.
Yeah, it's A to B. I don't think there is a set course.
Yeah.
There can't be, can they? No, you must be right with that.
They need that little guy from Mario Kart in the cloud to come down to tell them they're going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, again, more Mario Kart, please.
But the thing is, because there's the crowds were exclusively at the start. If there were little corners with people that might indicate all right, this is the pathway to go. because that's where the people and stuff are. That's where the crowds are waiting for you. That would make sense. But it's entirely just like, well, this is just a clusterfuck now. Like, you can go anywhere. You can do anything. You could just go home. You don't even have to take part in the race anymore.
You could be like that one woman who got disqualified from a marathon because she hopped on a bus and rode a bus the most of the way.
Oh, that's genius.
See Spike just like hanging onto the back of a bus, just like slowly waiting. I'm gonna get him this time for sure.
I'm gonna do a Marty McFly. Hold on.
Hell yeah.
You're like, Spike, you're on a motorcycle. You can just go as fast as the car.
But yeah, I think I'm all know that for minute 67, is it?
65.
65.
You can tell we've been doing this for months now.
We've milked this minute enough. We need to give the udders a rest.
Which also makes me think of Mad Max, Fury Road, milking the ladies.
Yep.
Which is both one of the best and most disturbing bits all at once. When you're like, oh my God, what are they doing? Okay. But it also kind of makes sense. So before we go off on another tangent, we will head off into the dark, dark night. So do join us again on Friday for more hot Bat-Minute and Robin racing action. Only the best in automobile clashes are here. I can't speak like a racing person. I have no idea.
That really was a kind of worrisome few seconds. Like, where's this going? This feels like John has started down a path that none of us can follow.
I'm trying to sound cool, and that doesn't work. I'm not cool. I'm a nerd. Yes, join us again on Friday. We'll be back then. Batmites.
Next time, beyond Blunderdome. The heat is on for our hellions on wheelers as a fearsome fire trap is ferociously revealed. It seems Bike Girl's goose is cooked as she's trapped on a terrifying toboggan. But can a bird boy make a save by swooping in like a robin? It's a dicey descent on Friday, Bat fans. Same Bat Pod, different Bat Minute.
We'll be back.